This morning at approximately 3:27 hours, the Fort Worth Fire Department Dispatch Office received a call from the Fort Worth Police Department advising them of a structure fire at 8101 Arbor Avenue. Fort Worth Police Department arrived on the scene first. 2 officers entered the residence and rescued a female victim. Fort Worth Fire Department then arrived and immediately searched the interior of the residence and located a male victim who was taken outside. The female victim was taken by air ambulance to Parkland Hospital. The male victim was transported by ground to Harris Hospital. Another female victim who was at the house at the time of the fire also complained of difficulty breathing, and she was later transported to an area hospital. The cause of the fire is undetermined at this time. It continues to be investigated, and we will not be answering questions regarding the cause and origin of the fire. As far as the fire department, Engine and Quint 23 responded from fire station at 3201 Portales Avenue, arrived on scene in approximately 3.5 minutes. Engine 23 reported fire showing in the area of the garage. Fire crews reported they observed 1 female victim in the yard at the time of arrival, and another female was screaming that another person was in the house. The engine crew pulled a hose line and began attacking the fire. Members of the Quint, or ladder, were assigned to search and rescue. Subsequent arriving crews were assigned to tend the patient in the yard. Fire crews located a male inside the residence and brought him outside to begin patient care. They actually resuscitated the patient while on the scene. MedStar ambulance arrived on the scene and assumed patient care with assistance from the fire department. Care flight was requested and took the female victim to Parkland Burn Center. And I do not have an update on the patient's condition at this time. And the reason we're here today is we really want to recognize the individuals that responded to this incident. We do want to state that this was a team effort involving fire and police, MedStar, and Care Flight. We do have some of the individuals who responded to the incident here this morning. As far as the fire crews, now some of these firefighters responded on the engine, some of them responded on the Quint, but we have firefighter Scott Woolard, we have firefighter Luis Pintoja, and then we have firefighter Schaefer, all who will be able to answer your questions regarding their actions while on the scene. And for the police, I'll turn that over to Sergeant Criado.
Good afternoon. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you for coming and covering the heroic actions of the fire and police personnel. I'd like to introduce the 2 police officers that were involved in the fire incident. It's Officer Bell and Officer Stewart, West Division Patrol officers. And once again, I'd like to reiterate what the captain stated, that this was a team effort, and we're fortunate to get those people out of the house. Without further ado, I'd like to open it up for the firefighters and the police officers to answer some of your questions in reference to their actions today.
I'd like to hear from the police officers who were first to go in and rescue. Can you just describe how you made that decision, Lindsay?
You guys want to step in?
Yes.
Both step up.
We happened to be in the area of where the house fire was, and we received a message over the computer saying that there was a house fire. So we responded to the area, and we saw that the house was, that flames were coming out of the garage, and we heard a female screaming in the front yard that people were still in the house. So we immediately just exited the vehicle and ran up to the front door and started kicking in the front door, and we just saw the female right in front of the front door. She was unconscious, and we immediately just started pulling her out of the house, and we dragged her into the front yard. And the same female that said there was someone still in the house, she said there's a second person in the house. So she pointed us to the back bedroom window, and we started breaking out the window, but heavy smoke started coming out, so we couldn't make entrance. But right about that time, fire department arrived on scene, and they were able to go inside and get the male out.
So can you describe what conditions were like when you first went in? Lots of heavy smoke, you had no protection.
Yeah, when we first went in, there was smoke coming out of the front doors, and flames were coming out of the garage. And when we went inside, we started pulling the lady out. Right above us, the flames were coming out, I guess from the garage area, but they were on the ceiling, and we were trying to pull her out in time before the flames got to her.
Was there time to think about what was going through your mind as you were at that? Was it like impulse, you just had to get to her, or what was going through your mind at that point?
We've been working together a little over a year. We're pretty close partnership, And whatever she does, I usually kind of know her actions, and same with mine. We just got out of the car, both knew, hey, there's somebody in there, we didn't do this job to protect ourselves. We wanted to help other people, and that's what we wanted to do. Whatever we could, move the lady away from the fire or pull her out of the fire, and just we were lucky enough to be able to pull her out from inside the living room out to the yard.
Lindsay, who kicked the door, who did what, how did you?
He had to kick open the door. But he did get open in 3 kicks. That's pretty good. But yeah, he kicked open the door. He was first in, and her feet were facing the door. So he went and grabbed her arms, and I pulled her feet, and we just carried her out.
Did you ever think that you should wait for the firefighters? You didn't have any protection. You're going into a burning building.
No, when the lady told us that there was someone in there, we didn't hesitate. We immediately kicked open the door, and when we saw her, there wasn't any question to wait for fire. We knew we had to get her out right then.
Were there any thoughts in your mind? I come back to you, Lindsay, and ask you that. There must have been something like.
Not until we got inside and we were carrying her, and I looked up and I see all this fire. You know, that's when I was like, oh, well, we really need to get her out now. So, yeah.
Have you ever felt more frightened?
No, that was pretty good one right there. Yeah.
How about you, Carson? Can you?
No, ma'am. Just I remember Stuart's face when she looked up and the flame was coming down at us. We just both knew we had to do everything we could. Grabbed onto the female, tied her, and just drug her out.
Can you describe? Is there a lot of like, just body language between the two of you that there's no words that need to be described?
Yeah, we didn't have to say anything. I didn't have to tell them to, grab her by the arms and the legs, and we needed to get her out. We didn't have to say anything at all. We immediately knew what to do. So what happens when we worked with each other for so long, we don't have to communicate like that.
Nothing was said, just kicked in the door. We both went in at the same time, followed each other's actions. Don't question, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And when we drug the female outside, we realized we weren't far enough away. We pulled her out into the yard even further, and I don't even remember speaking to Stuart while we were doing that.
She was really seriously burned. I mean, we understand from her face all the way down to her waist. And after the fact, what are your thoughts now about the whole thing?
I'm just worried about her. I haven't heard any news about her, so I'm just really worried at this point. And I hope that everything turns out well. So.
Can we assume this is not something covered in the academy?
No, I don't remember studying this one.
No, I see the fire tower behind us lit on fire every now and then, but nothing else.
No.